morning friends, and welcome back to the woods. And you find me on a particularly nice September morning in the woods, and I'm going to light a fire. And today I'm going to attempt to use this thing. I've come up here a little bit later. It's still quite early in the day. It's 10 AM. I'm not quite sure if it's going to work, if I'm going to get enough sun, but it is quite sunny today. If that fails, I'm going to use a lighter. Yes, a cop-out, a lighter. Now I have a little bit of an apology, because in my last video where I was using the modified Perskook fire necklace and then I switched to a lighter because it didn't work, the lighter I put in this case actually was really low on fuel and the flame was tiny. So I've put a new lighter in here with a bigger flame. So yes, I think I messed up a little bit, but there, I probably would have got that fire going if that flame would have been bigger. So I'm sorry and I apologise. Keep an eye on your lighters, make sure they're not running out of juice. A lesson learnt. I'm not going to bother going off and getting sticks or anything. I gathered some small ones on the way in, helped get my fire going. Unfortunately, it really rained last night, so I haven't got anything for a tinder bundle because everything's soaking, so I'm going to have to use some feather sticks. If you're a regular viewer, you know before I leave the woods, I always prepare wood, split a load of wood down for my next fire. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. Today I will, to save on time. Quick fire lay first. If you're wondering why I was fussing, I was checking that piece out, so I'll get a few nice feather sticks out of that. Now I did find this stick on the way in, and this is a piece of hazel, and dead hazelwood is absolutely cracking kindling, really good stuff. Don't find it that often here, because there's not much hazel here. And you can make a pretty good feather stick. Obviously not from this one, it's a bit gnarly, but when you find a nice straight piece of hazel, you will get a nice feather stick out of it. Well, I'm going to grade my wood up now and get back to you. I picked 3 choice, very fine feather sticks, and there's another 3 on the pile with the wood. Hopefully I won't fail. I've got a King Alfred's cake fungus, and if you're in the UK you probably know exactly what these are. They grow on dead ash. I'd say 70% of the time they are wet when you find them, and you've got to dry them because they will not work when they're wet. But when they're dry, these are great, especially for fire with the sun, magnifying glass and one of these gadgets. I have tried this gadget at home in the garden in some bright sunlight, and it worked really well. In fact, it worked just as well as a magnifying glass, which I was a bit shocked about. Well, this is a piece of fungus, and I'm going to make it into a small piece. Now, I'm going to have, that piece is small, so I'm going to have to light the larger piece off it. I don't think that is enough to get a feather stick bundle going. So there's my larger piece. Right, let's find a patch of sun, and fingers crossed. Well, this doesn't seem to want to work. Well, that's a shame. I put my sunglasses on because it's affecting my eyes a bit. I think we'll call that a fail. Oh no, I hit the sweet spot. Well, it is worth persevering because it worked. I hit the sweet spot and it worked. Right, now on the fiddly bit. Ah, you shit. Got the big one going. Struggled a bit, but it's going. So I'm chuffed with that. Fire with the parabolic lens. Crisscross fire for maximum airflow. As you may know, if you've been doing this a while and you use a crisscross fire, it has a tendency to fall over. So sometimes I put sticks on the side just to keep it in. And that was great because I only used 2 feather sticks. Or was it 3? 3. And a well-deserved cup of tea, and I can take my shades off. Finishing off my cup of tea, and I just thought I'd mention something about the parabolic lens. It's not something I'd rely on. I use the fungus in it, but I'm sure char cloth will work just fine, and some charred punk wood should work just fine as well, but that'll burn really quick, so you'd have to get that out pretty quick and light something else off it. Same as what I've done with the fungus, but that charred material, the punk wood, would burn really quick. Well, there's not much sun now, so I think I did it at the right time, and I'm pleased it worked. Now, I'm going to replenish my stocks, and I brought a knife with me that I haven't used in years. This is the first bushcraft knife with a scandi grind I ever owned. and this is a bison bushcraft forester. 4mm sandbar stag handle, and my wife bought me this for my 30th birthday, so that's 18.5 years old. I used it, must have been for about a year, my main user for a year, but as soon as I bought the original bison bushcraft, it more or less went away and I didn't use it much at all. I don't think I've used it in 10 years. But I thought I'd bring it out for a play. I'm not that keen on the handle, to be honest with you. There's a lot of shape in it, and it's a bit thin around here. Now I know Roger's making them now quite different. There's a lot more material there. They're flatter and they're a lot better. I know, because I've had a couple of them as well over the years. And yes, they are more comfortable. But there's nothing wrong with this, and I'm going to make a few feather sticks with it now, after I've split some wood up. And today I brought one of the big guns out. I've got my Wetterlings, or Wetterlings, I'm assuming that's the correct pronunciation. I've got my Wetterlings forest axe, which is a bit of a beast. And there's plenty of knots in the two pieces I cut last week. Hopefully this will make short work of them. Right, I'm going to finish my cup of tea. I got 3 nasty rounds with plenty of knots in them, and I'm going to use this bad boy. Check out that. It will chop because of the weight, but it splits like a dream. I'm just softening it up. I'm going to leave them in quarters because they burn really quick, and I've got enough 8s and small splits already stored. That's going to be an absolute pig. Told you. Always worth flipping it upside down, trying the other end. Last one. I think that would have been quite a chore with a smaller axe. My Hudson Bay would have been just as good probably, and the other Wetterlings, the shorter one, that would have been okay. But that extra couple of inches length on the handle and the head weight does make a difference. My Gransfords, they would have all struggled with that, definitely, because of the blade profile. I still prefer my Gransford as an all-purpose axe though, I gotta be honest. Some feather stick wood now. Now one thing about this, I do find this, the angle on this, it bites into the wood a lot better than the smaller Wetterlings. I prefer this one, but I've got a little roll on it. Yep, bit of a roll. I don't think that was there when I turned up. So splitting them knotty logs down gave me a roll. Look, you can see it in the sun. It's a shame. Nothing that can't be sorted out though. Time for a bit of feather sticking with this whole thing. I've chosen a few choice pieces. Now ideally I like to use the outer of the stick to make a feather, which I will be, and this stick hasn't got an outer but it's got a nice sharp edge to it, so I'm going to do this one first. Quickie. Well, the blade length and the grind on it are just about perfect for feather sticks, but that handle I'm not getting on with, even after doing such a quick job on that. Not finding that handle great. As I said earlier, he has changed the handles on these, they're a lot better now. I don't think he makes many of them, to be honest with you. I think he mainly does the all-weather knife and the woody, which is similar in size to a woodlow, but it is different. And I'm hoping to get one of them for my 50th in Dama steel. Got to twist the wife's arm, because they're not cheap. Do another one. Now while I'm doing this, I wanted to demonstrate something, because a viewer commented the other day on what angle should you put your knife to the wood. Well, I have addressed this in a previous video on feather sticks, but I will do it again, because if he's a new subscriber he probably hasn't gone back to watch it, so I'll just give a demo. Right, here's your stick. I usually start off on that edge and then I come in a bit. I keep rotating the stick as I go. And I'm keeping my knife on a 90. Now when I get a few more curls on there, digging in a bit, got a few more curls. Now if I want my curls to come on this side, I put the knife at that angle. And if I want the curls to come on that side, I put my knife at that angle. because I'm going slow, I'm actually struggling, because I do these pretty quick. My muscle memory sends me in what direction I need to go. But that's basically, if you want to make that big pile of curls, you change the angle on the knife to send them either way. Just a quick tip. Now there's something I don't understand, and I'll take you over the block to show you. What it is, I don't get why some people take a piece this big and make a feather stick like that. Don't get it. Right, I understand you can lop it off and do that, but you need loads of them. Because as soon as you get to a certain point, things get in the way. No, just don't get that way of making feather sticks at all. I don't like it. So if anybody's wondering why you've never seen me do that, I just don't like it. And the main culprits are the DBK boys, and I enjoy watching their videos because I get to see knives which I've never heard of, or perhaps I don't want to spend the money on without seeing somebody else use them. And the funny thing is, last week they did a video on the Condo Terrasaw. Guess who's bought one and will be reviewing it soon? Me. And if my pal Scott is watching this, he's going to call me all names because he bought one ages ago and I said it's a pile of shit. Well, I've changed my mind. But what I did think was a pile of shit about it, I wasn't that keen. The handle was a bit on the rough side and the grinds were really off. They were bad. But after watching the DBK boys, I thought, I'm going to pull the plug. So I did. Well, I actually bought it before I watched their video. I knew they'd done a video, but I ordered one anyway. So that'll be coming up soon. Making a lot of work for yourself, doing that. That's the quickie I just made, and there's nothing particularly big on there. Sorry, particularly small on there. I rest my case. Well, I'm going to sharpen my axe up now, get rid of that roll. I think I've got a DC4 in my bag. We'll see. Guess who didn't have a DC4 in his bag? Me. So, when I get home, I'm going to put one in my bag now. Right, well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'm calling it a day now. And I'll see you next time. Remember that thumbs up is always greatly appreciated. I think I'll have another cup of tea before I go. Ta-ra. Well, so there's my piece. It's too big. And now it's falling apart. You bastard. power cut feather stick. Power cut feather stick. Just big, huge, gougey cuts and then lop it off. Bit of a kindling thing going there. Why not? Not just one way to make a feather stick. I don't know why I did that, I haven't got a clue. I would like the DBK boys to have a go with one of my knives, see what they think. That could be interesting, because if they think that terra saw is a really good feather sticker, and well, they did say it was the best feather sticker they'd used, I really think they'd like my tribute knife. But I'm not giving them a freebie. They probably got more money than I have to throw away. Not making them shit feather sticks though, making proper feather sticks. I'm being a bit cheeky, I know, I don't care.